Hi, good evening. Myself, Dr. Ganapathi Rao, working as Assistant Professor in the Institute of Aeronautical Engineering. Today I am going to discuss about basics of relational model and types of keys in database management systems. Basics of a relational model with examples. The relational model is the foundation of relational database and was proposed by E.F. Codd in 1970s. It organized the data into tables or relations where each relation consists of rows and columns. This is nothing but the relational data models. So simply the data can be organized into tables, and each table consists of the tuples and columns and make a relationship between them. This happens in the relational data models. And the key concept of the relational model, a relation is also represented as a table, called as a table. A relation is a table with rows and columns. So here the example, employee is the relation. Employee is a relation which consists the table employee ID, E-ID, E-name, E-department, E-employee salary. Right. So here this is the name of the table is a employee. This is called the relation. This table consists the rows and columns. So these are the columns, these are the attributes. So now suppose employee ID like 1, 2, 3, employee name X, Y, Z, department A, B, C, salary 2K, 4K and 5K. So this is the data stored in the form of the columns and rows. So this is nothing but the record, or simply it is a tuple. So a relation, this is the employee is the relation which consists the rows and columns. Rows and columns. Next, tuple. Tuple is the single record in a relation or table. Tuple represents a single relation, single record in a table or a relation. It represents a single record in a table or relation. Already shown. Attribute or simply column. Attribute is a property of a relation or table. Property of relation or table. Next, domain. The set of allowed values for an attribute. So this is the set of allowed values for an attribute. Suppose E-name is an attribute. E-ID is also attribute. Set of allowed values for an attribute. For these are the, so it has the some set of values, some X, Y, Z or some etc. These set of values for this name for attribute is called domain. Next, primary key, a unique identifier for each row. So each row uniquely identify. That is nothing but the primary key. And next one, foreign key. Foreign key is applied for an attribute that refers to a primary key in another table. An attribute that refers to a primary key in another table. And next one, schema. Schema is the structure of the table which consists the column names and types. Structure of the table consists the attribute names and types, data type. So this is about the key concepts of relational model. And next one, examples of a relational model. We consider the simple database for a university with two tables, consists the student table and the course enrollment table. The student table consists student ID, student name, age, department. These are the attribute. Among these attributes, student ID is the primary key attribute. And come to the next table, course enrollment table. In the course enrollment table, which consists the attributes enrollment ID, student ID, course ID, grade. In this course enrollment table, course ID is the foreign key. Student ID is the foreign key. Student ID is a foreign key. Now, student ID, which is the primary key in the first table. Student ID is the primary key in the student table. So then in second table, so it is a foreign key. This is the student ID is the primary key, and come to the course enrollment table. This is the foreign key. The student ID, it is act as a primary key in first table, and it is in the second table is a foreign key. Now, the student ID in the student table is the primary key, this one. And the student ID in the course enrollment table is the foreign key that refers student table. Now, each row represents the unique student or an enrollment record. When you see the structure of the student table, so simply the schema of the student table is student ID, name, age, department. And the schema for the course enrollment table is course enrollment consists the enrollment ID, student ID, and course ID, grade. So these are the attribute in course enrollment table. Next one, types of keys in DBMS. In database management system, different keys are used to uniquely identify records, which maintains the data integrity. So we have the various types of keys. So then along with the examples, first one, super key. Super key is the set of one or more attributes which uniquely identify a tuple in a relation. Super key is a set of one or more attributes that uniquely identify a tuple in a relation. So this is about the super key. And come to the examples table. Student ID is a attribute in student table. This is the relation is a student in which student ID is the one of the attribute. This is the primary super key. student ID, comma, email is also one or more uniquely added. So each student has the one ID. Each student is one ID, is one email. And student ID, phone number, email, phone, both are unique. So these are the example for the super key. More than one or more attributes. One or more attributes that uniquely identifies in a tuple. So that is nothing but the super key. And come to the candidate key. Candidate key is a minimal super key. Minimal super key. So it has no unnecessary attributes. It has no unnecessary attributes. For example, student keys in the student tables. So what are the candidate key? Candidate keys in student table. Candidate key. Student ID is the candidate key. Email is the candidate key. Phone number is the candidate key. Among these, student ID is chosen as the primary key. Among this, student ID is the primary key. So these three are the attributes, which is a minimal super key. So student ID is the usually chosen as the primary key. And next one, primary key. Primary key is the candidate key chosen to uniquely identifies records in the table. It cannot contains null values. Cannot contains null value. Example, primary key in student table. Student ID is the primary key. So it is which is a uniquely identifies records in a table, so that the student ID is the primary key. And next one, unique foreign key. Foreign key is an attribute in one table that references the primary key of another table. Foreign key is an attribute in one table that references primary key of another table. Student table is a primary table. Enrollment table is a foreign key reference. Here student ID in enrollment table is foreign key referencing student ID in student table. So here student table consists of student ID and name. Enrollment table consists the enrollment ID, student ID, course. So here the student ID, which is a foreign key in a table, that is a referencing the student ID in a table one. It is a primary key. So this is nothing but the foreign key. Next one, unique key. So unique key ensures that the values in a columns remains unique. But unlike a primary key, it can contains null values. See examples in the employee table. Here employee table consists the email, which can be declared as a unique key. Email can be declared as a unique key. So here employee ID is email and phone number. So in this, email can be declared as a unique key, which is the unique key. Next key is the surrogate key. So a surrogate key is an artificial key which is assigned to uniquely identify each record. It not derived from application data. Surrogate key is an artificial key which is assigned to uniquely identify each record. So it cannot derive from an application data. So when you see the example, here employee surrogate key is a auto generated here using the auto increment in MySQL. So employee surrogate key, name, employee. So the employee surrogate key, which is automatically generated. using some auto increment next 3 like that. So this is about the surrogate key. So see here we types of keys in DBMS. Key type and description. Super key is set of attributes which is uniquely identified. Simply we conclude that set of attributes that uniquely identify a rows. Candidate key here minimal of super key. It has a no redundant attributes. No redundant attributes. Next one, primary key. Primary key is a candidate key which uniquely identifies a rows and cannot be null values. It is nothing but the primary key. And foreign key, if a key references the primary key in another table. A key that references primary key in another table. Next one, composite key. A key consisting of multiple attributes. A key consisting of multiple attributes. So, unique key which ensures uniqueness but allows null values. Uniqueness but allows null values. Next, alternate key. A candidate key is not chosen as a primary key. And key not chosen as the primary key. Next, surrogate key. A system generated key which is not derived from existing attributes. So these are the different types of keys in DBMS. So these are the references for the DBMS. So these key concepts and the relational basics of relational DBMS from the Abraham Silbert and Henry F. Court textbook, 6th edition, and also Database Systems Pearson Education written by Ramesh Elamarsi Shamkant and Peter Rao Careless Cornell, Database System Concepts. So this is about the basic concepts of relational database systems and key concepts in database management systems. Thank you.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.